Hey everybody, this is Adam with Tech Stocks. I'm going to go over the Surface Pro Go, or the Surface Go. This thing is the quintessential small tablet that acts almost like a netbook or almost like a laptop, but pretty much like a netbook. The first thing you need to know, it is pretty tiny. It it functions the same way that the its larger predecessor does. It really just functions as a um, kind of laptop or tablet with also the really unique and nice cover that is also a keyboard. This particular one also illuminates, and really it has a lot of unique features to it that are pretty similar to other systems. It's got the same power adapter, so if you're in the Surface family, it's using the same power adapter. It's got a USB-C plug and a 35 millimeter. It does the exact same kind of action that the bigger one does, and it even mimics it all the way. It's also got a micro US or a micro SD slot for expansion, and it's pretty nifty when it comes into that. It has a front camera and a rear camera, which is pretty good. And once again, this is where the piece de resistance. Um, it has that quintessential bigger shifts on both sides, and it you know kind of ditches the traditional more directional pad thing, but you can absolutely fit your hand on here. It's tight, it's close, but I find that typing is still very much reasonable. The keys are still spaced out properly. They're obviously slightly smaller, but all in all, it's very typable. This is a unit that absolutely allows the the user owner to flip this around, use this as a touchpad, use this as a touch screen for point of sale, mobile sellers. If you're a guy who's running his own business and needs to have something on hand to kind of finish out that point of sale, that last point of sale, Clover or Square, it's a good option outside of your phone if you want to kind of keep those things kind of separate. I know a lot of people just use their phone, but something like this that could be a little more work oriented, that could have you kind of draw up separate systems or documents or drafts of all sorts of things. I find that's probably where it's going to find its niche. It's a new device relatively. It's about a year old in terms of offering, but the Go is absolutely something I would be considering if you're looking for that ultra mobile but still a laptop, but absolutely want it to function as a tablet. So if you just can't make up your mind how you need it. I find that this is a really good middle ground for women who want to be able to put it in their purse. It absolutely can fit in most purses, and it still is able to deliver the power and processing needs that most people do or require. For school, it's pretty darn good for colleges and even high schools if they allow it, because the typing is still possible, but it can do games and other things like that depending on what your needs are. It kind of fills every single little slot. Some of the negatives are is the processing power is not quite there. It's basically the run of the mill standard ones are running like Snapdragon's essentially the same processor that's running in most very powerful phones. So obviously, it's not necessarily going to outperform a phone in some ways when it's running literally an 8-core, A8 or processor that's a Snapdragon or one of the Qualcomms, but it is far more capable in terms of the RAM speeds. I mean, it can get the job done in normal processing standards. I've even run Photoshop on it, other things, It absolutely still works. I wouldn't run multiple instances of that of Adobe, but I can it can handle a single for sure. Um, Outside of that, I find that its mobility is it's a Surface Go, so its mobility is easily its best trait. If you're looking for something tiny that needs to kind of get it done in all areas, this is a good option. It's pretty cheap. You can get it for about $400, $450 on sale. Uh, it's something you should consider. This is Adam with Tech Stocks. Don't forget to like and subscribe.